friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do something a little different. Not that anybody's surprised, but I always tend to do a few different things throughout the year on my channel, and right now I had already planned to do this video for the record, and then all of a sudden I was seeing everybody else doing it because, you know, great minds think alike, and a lot of us are talking about our Amazon purchases. Since this whole quarantine has really forced us to maybe change our buying habits or even want to go shopping, sometimes you need stuff. Need stuff, not want stuff, need stuff. And Amazon has been a way that a lot of us have gotten a lot of our things through this whole process. I've also even let you guys know in the past months, even before this pandemic happened, that I had an Amazon storefront to let you know about makeup and stuff like that I was using that maybe I got on Amazon. And I've also done some lifestyle and health stuff, especially surrounding my hysterectomy. A lot of people were asking what products were you using like right after surgery and during that time frame, what were you prepping to get? So I added those things in there as well. But lifestyle stuff, I really haven't delved too deeply into, and a lot of you have asked me to do that for you. So this video is really not too much about makeup. It's really going to be things that I highly recommend for lifestyle in any life. You don't have to live in a tiny house for some of these things, but some of these things help living tiny. And I know I do have some tiny housers that follow me. Some of you are RVers, some of you actually do live in maybe more of a like foundation home, but it is a small house. And other things on this list we've been getting since we had our big house. So some things aren't just related to tiny house or minimalistic living. So long story long, what we're gonna do today is dive through the things I love on Amazon, the things I can't live without. Some things are going to be clothing items that you guys have asked me about. Some things are household things. Some things are jewelry things. So let's jump in. Linked below is going to be my Amazon recommendations for you guys. So if you want to follow along with looking at that, you're welcome to. But the link is going to be below so you can see all of the stuff and have links to all of the stuff that I'm talking about. There is a makeup section, but I feel like I've kind of talked about that and there's not a ton in there. So let's just kind of move it along now to the clothing section really quickly, because I mentioned to you guys there is a hanger in my life that a lot of you said you need in your life. I know, hanger, that doesn't sound sexy or fun, but practical? Hell to the yeah, and a lot of you were interested when I mentioned that in my recent faves video. Linked above. Hold on, let me get it for you. I let you guys know that this hanger has like changed my life because it's holding all of my leggings and workout pants without adding too much like width this way to hanging up all of your pants, because a lot of us, when we've done this on a single hanger, it just makes everything wider. You can't find what you need, whereas this makes everything organized and it looks like this when it's bare. A lot of you were like, oh my gosh, this would work great for my husband's work pants or your great work pants or your yoga pants, your sweatpants, whatever. No one's judging here. This is a judge-free zone. This is going to be linked in my Amazon listings, and I think this is like 15 bucks for a 3-pack. I only needed one for all of my pants. Now keep in mind, I live in a tiny house. This definitely adds space to your closet, meaning you can hold more clothing with something like this in a smaller space. So if you're sharing your closet with your husband or your kids or whatever, this can really help organize your life in your closet, you know? I felt like I needed to start with that one because so many of you were like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know hangers like that existed. Oh, what's up, Coop? Coop's gonna go upstairs now. Hold, please. Okay, everybody's situated now. I've also been loving these shorts, and now that the rest of the country is slowly getting into the spring-summer season, I can kind of talk about them now. These are some shorts. I like button fly and I like zipper, but I really like button fly. Don't ask me why. I'm probably because I grew up loving this pair of jeans that were button fly, and even if I was a little bloated from PMS or eating or being a woman and existing, sometimes you get some bloat, and a zipper is not nearly as forgiving as buttons on a button fly, real talk. So I found these shorts on Amazon that have a little bit of stretch to them too, and they have them both in the zipper and the button up. And I actually have purchased both of these. They are linked in my Amazon, and you just kind of have to sort through like their options that they have on their Amazon page. I'm wearing a pair of the Button Fly right now, and I have a pair of the Zip Up right here. I have them in 2 different sizes because sizing on Amazon and internet purchasing in general is hard when you are any kind of woman. But now that I'm going through my recovery portion of my hysterectomy, and I'm going to do an update on that probably in June, I have been losing a lot of weight. I have probably lost over 20 pounds at this point from what I was at the end of 2019. But I don't own a scale because I don't invite, you know, the devil into my house. Told you that before. So I've been kind of going through pant sizes. I've had to go down in my short sizes since I purchased these. But I still like the other kind because they're comfortable too. The ones that are a little bit bigger, because then I feel like I can be a little loungy in shorts. And who does that normally? Not this big hipped, big bootied girl. So I'm really loving these. They have a little bit of a distressed look to them. If you don't like that, I think they have some options without that. But I also like a good cuff, and they cover the bootay. I'm just not the kind of woman that likes to show off my butt that much in public. I don't, or ever, not even that much, like at all. So these cover my booty. These got like the family approval. My aunt saw me in them before the pandemic, and she was like, oh yeah, they're really cute. They cover your butt, but you feel like all cute and stylish in them. I have the button up and the zip up ones. I really enjoy them. I think they're really comfortable. They have some stretch to them. I think they're about like $25 to $27-ish, kind of I think depending on which ones you get. I always use caution when I purchase online, so I think the first pair I got were probably like extra larges, and now I'm down to more like the mediums and the larges in their stuff because they do have some stretch, which is nice to have. But after I would say like at the end of the day, if you haven't washed them, and some people don't wash their jeans or their shorts that often, if you don't wash them, like they can get a little loose on you because they have that kind of stretch, but once you wash them again, they kind of tighten back up. I've been really enjoying these, and now that we're getting into the season, these are really all I'm wearing, so thought I would share that. The other stuff in that clothing section, I feel like I've talked about enough, but they're also down there listed below if you want to like peruse. I don't have a ton of stuff in there just yet, but I'll keep adding to these, so feel free to come back to these links and check them later. These are things that I recommend, like I own them and recommend them. Now I'm going to come over to my highly recommended lifestyle section, and that is where a lot of our like technology and household items are. I think it's only appropriate that I let you know my co-star, who is in every video with me, is also linked in my Amazon lists below. This little guy here, $15. You can have one of your very own. This one does have a cork in it. If you remember my old one that I had that was white, it didn't have a cork, and that's why we had that one, because we didn't want to know how much money was in there. We just kept wanting to like stuff some cash in there for like a vacation or something like that. But when we ended up having to crack that baby open, we could not find another one that didn't have a cork that looked as cute. So we got this one, and I could glue his cork closed, but I probably won't. At this point, we'll probably just be like, oh, this is my little guy that I have in here. So he's always my co-star in all of my videos. So many of you comment on how much you like him, and I tend to decorate him for holidays in my videos and play him up a little bit here. Did we give him a name yet? I can't remember if we've named this one. So feel free to give me a name below of what we should call this guy. But he is in my Amazon links, and I thought it was worthy of mention. You back in here? You comfortable? You good? You good? Something else that is in my beauty space that you cannot see and that I can't even see and I can't smell, and that's why I'm going to talk about it. This is my Smellies reusable home smell remover and deodorizer pouch. If you've not heard of these, don't feel bad. I hadn't heard of them till probably like 3 or 4 years ago. In a tiny space, it's always going to be a little important, especially when there's more people in the house and it's getting hot outside, to have stuff in a room that helps remove odors. And what I love about this is that it is reusable. I don't need to repurchase anything. I can just microwave it or sit it outside in the sun, and it will absorb whatever the smells are and be refreshed over again. The one I have here listed is for 150 square feet. I have the extra large one because I keep it over here. So in my beauty space, if you remember from my beauty room tour, this over here is my closet space. And underneath there are shoes. Behind the shoes is where I keep that bag. One, because, you know, shoes, after a while, it's gonna smell. This here's small quarters. I do have a nice, beautiful window here, but it is usually closed. But the real reason that I really needed it, it wasn't even for that. We're not really that smelly of people, or maybe we're just used to our own smell. I don't know. Really was Adam recently surprised me with a nice yoga mat because he knows I'm trying to get a little bit more active during my recovery, but I told him I was really interested in doing yoga, and he got me well, this is a really pricey one, but this is like a jade yoga mat. Like a jade yoga mat, and any new yoga mat that's rubbery smells like rubber. It doesn't have a great scent to it. So right after, and I keep it over here, I was like, okay, this small room where I do all my work during the day and my beauty room and my filming is smelling like the bottom of tennis shoes, rubber, tires, what? No. So really, that removed the scent really quickly from this small space, and I've not even had to touch it, and I bought it, when did I buy it? It's telling me here on Amazon I purchased it March 14th, and I've not had to like re-zap it or anything yet. I probably should soon now that I think about it, but it's so nice and easy to just store somewhere in your house, maybe your kid's closet, maybe your husband's part of the closet or bathroom, I don't know. It's a great piece to have to get it just removes odors. It doesn't put other fragrances in, it just takes odors out. I love that. Ooh, something else a lot of you ask me about all the time, and I recently mentioned it in a video, and it is my You Are a Badass calendar. I do pictures of this every single morning. They've helped me out, and so many of you have let me know how much they help you out. So I was able to find it on Amazon. I had to go into my husband's Amazon account to pull it, to put it into mine, because it was a gift for me. But I share these little daily quotes with you guys and all this positivity and love on Instagram every single day. So it's also linked in there. It's never too late, even though we're going to be halfway through the year soon, thank God, because 2020 has been, well, you know how it's been. It's been kind of rough, and this is something that a lot of you say brings some light to you, and you're always wondering where to get it. So now I've just made it super easy for you. It is in my Amazon links. Go get it if you want it. Just rip off the first half till you get to May, and then you're good. Feel free to read back over those other ones too, though, because they're all super helpful. As you're tearing them off, just read through them and catch up really quick. There's such quick little things. And I think on the back, she actually does little activities that are different on the back of each one. So I guess today's, I haven't even looked at it. It's called the Daily Extra. Can you match these Major League Baseball teams with their storied stadiums? Ooh, I can only do, oh, I can do two actually. Can you? I'm gonna challenge you right now. Can you match the team to the stadium? I'm from St. Louis, so I know the Cardinals, and the Cubs are our biggest enemy, so I know where the Cubs go. What about you guys? And if you are a Cubs fan, you're not my enemy. I'm really not that into sports. I've just never been that into, well, enemies at all. I think we're all friends, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, and some of these things are directly related to what I do here on YouTube. Where is it? Where is it? Where's my book? I have so many things in this office right now. Too many things. Where's my book? Last year I had the teal one. That's more the color I would love, but they were out of it by the time year end came. So Adam every year for Christmas gets me a Hatch book, and they are on Amazon now. They were not previously. So I have them linked below, and this is the book I use for all of my video prep ideas for thumbnails, the way I kind of like make down notes about BoxyCharm, or I'm working with their team internally sometimes. I keep all my notes, logins, and stuff like that in here, and it's really meant to be an entrepreneur's book. I've talked about this before, but it's been a couple of years. This is really a book that's designed to help you like make your dreams come true in a way, and that sounds so cheesy and corny, but hi, are you new? Have you been to this channel? That's how I live my life. It really helps you to like conceive your ideas. What are some incubator things that you could plan out? Like it starts to let you come up with ideas on how to execute really. And then there's the Hatch portion of it where you're really more developing the layers of what you're working on. The whole book can really be used however you want. I'm not going to get too much into this, but if you're curious, it is linked below. Do a little bit of investigating on it if you want. I think it's great. I get one every year and have for the past 3 or 4 years, pretty much since my channel became a thing for me. It's where I keep all my faves and fails, all my stuff. It's important to me. I have this with me all the time when I'm filming in general or prepping and preparing videos for you, because as I've told you even in my Q&A, I treat this like a job. I take this very seriously, and it starts with even the beginning phases before you ever turn on your camera. It's the ideas, it's the how you're gonna grow with your audience, how am I gonna talk about it, how am I excited about it, all those things. I put it in here. Something else that you may recognize if you have watched my room tour is something a lot of you thought was really cool and really pretty. It is a wall hanger that you can hang coats on, purses on. I happen to have them in here and used them in my beauty space for hats and for purses. Right now we've kind of shifted things a little bit, and that's why I need to do an update on my room tour soon, but I'm still using that for my hats, but now I have shelves for my handbags. We also have one in our living room over here that holds all of our like dog collars, dog leashes, because we're in and out with the dogs all the time in a tiny house. But this is what we had in our big house for a coat rack, because it's kind of like art. It looks very, like, to me it's kind of like beechwood in a way, but it's plastic. But it looks very like a piece of art, but then you can pull down the tabs to be hangers, and then if you don't have any like coats or jackets hanging on it and you just want to pull up all the pieces, then it looks like a wall piece of art. It's really cool. I really love that. And I have 3 of them in my tiny house. That's how serious I love those. There is a dog bed upstairs that I'm not going to pull down because I think Cooper just went upstairs to go lay in his bed, but there is a doggy bed in here that we splurged on after we moved here, but after the dogs were acclimated, because when you're moving your pets across the country, if you ever do that, they need as much normalcy and smells that they recognize as possible. So when we first moved here, we had all their old beds and all their old blankies, good stuff like that. But then after we were acclimated and situated, we upgraded Cooper's bed to this Amazon Basics Pet Sofa Lounger. It is a bed pad for cats or dogs. For me, this was a little pricey because it's like $43.99. But it's really high quality. And then they have bigger versions too. Cooper's not that big, so we don't need to do a really big one. They have them in larger sizes as well for your dog, but it really helps for their support. Cooper and Penny are Doxy mixes, so they have a longer back. So I'm always conscious to make sure that their hips and their back are getting the right support when they're resting, because they like to play rough. And this gives them, it's kind of like a memory foam, I feel like, for a dog. Like you let it rise overnight, kind of like you would on one of those mattresses, and then you kind of put their whole bed together. And there's a blanket in the link as well, in my storefront, not with the bed. But in all of those things, just because my dogs are my kids. Hi, you're not shocked if you've been here a while. So I baby my babies, and Cooper likes to have a blanket because then he'll like put it between his paws. Sometimes he'll suck on it because it's the cutest thing ever. Or he makes things into a pillow. So he likes having a blanket. So there's also a like dog blanket that goes with the bed that is also in my links. So feel free to go check those out, dog moms. Can we talk about wine a minute? It's Friday when I'm filming this, Friday late afternoon, so I'm ready for some wine. And my husband and I are in a wine club that we've been getting for a long time. If any of you are familiar with Gary Vee, who is a marketing master for so many digital things, I follow him on a lot of stuff, but he started in the wine business. It was his family's company. So we've been on his wine club for a while, and by the way, if you love a really quality wine for inexpensive, it's gonna be kind of expensive compared to when you're going to the grocery store, but you're getting amazing top-notch wines. I suggest you check out his wine library. Again, it's Gary Vanderchuck, but he goes by Gary V because Vanderchuck's a hard name to say. Anywho, I tangent a lot, you know that. We got something, well, I got something for my birthday from Adam that has changed our wine game. If you are a wine lover, and it is getting an aerator. It's like a $26 piece that you essentially pour your wine through. Hold on, I'm just gonna get it to show it to you. Okay, I don't think Adam washed it last time, so bear with me, it's a little dirty. But essentially it comes with this little holder, but you pour your wine through this top part. I should just go get a bottle and show you, but you kind of like pour it in, and then it just like circulates and aerates through into your glass. Your glass is below this, obviously. And it kind of does that swirly thing where it gets all of the aromas and the flavors moving for you. I've done a few wine classes with Adam, and it really teaches you. I'm not going to get into that because I'm not a wine like professional by any means, but it really helps to get the flavors out of a good wine. So this is something that I was like, why did you get me this? And then after we've used it, I can tell when he uses this versus when he doesn't with any kind of wine, because it always tastes richer and bolder, and it's got more flavor to it after he's taken it through the aerator. So this stays in we have a little cabinet up top that has our nice wine glasses, so this stays up there in our little tiny house, and it works great when we're wanting to have maybe a glass of wine with dinner. perfect. We also got some wine holders that I put together, and they're sitting, one is sitting on top of our very big refrigerator in there, and we have one up in our loft that are the nicer wines. The wines that you're only gonna probably open on a holiday, an anniversary. We get some really nice wines from the Gary V Wine Club, and so the good ones that are like the year that we got married, and that he's like lets you know in every month like what each wine is, and if he's like this is a special one, we take this one, we kind of look into it, review it a little bit, and then we put it up in the nice section instead of maybe the above the refrigerator on a Friday night kind of beverage. So we've got a couple of wine holders that are only 20 bucks to put together, but they look nice and they showcase the wine more than they do the actual like holder, because so many of the holders are these big bulky things, and I just wanted something that was going to be stable and hold a good amount of wine but not overpower the whole look. So it just kind of like blends in with our stuff, which I like. Another thing that I really love living tiny and living simply are the things that you see for holding spices. They're like these little spice holders. Sometimes you see them on TV shows. My stepmom came in when she first saw our house 2 years ago, and well, one, she was overwhelmed with like, oh my gosh, this house is so beautiful and all the things. But then as she was getting ready to leave, she walked out, she's like, oh, what's on your fridge? And I was explaining that they are spice holders that you can organize to magnetize to your refrigerator. Let me just get one. These magnetize to your refrigerator. They're on the side of our refrigerator, and Adam's a cook. He loves cooking. So some of them come with pre-made labels for stuff that are more obvious, and then there's ones that you can write on as well. So we have like, I don't know, 9 of these on the side of our fridge that look classy and nice, and this is close to the same color as our fridge. So everything just kind of blends and looks clean and nice. That's how I like things to be. My husband's a little bit of an Aries and loves to make a mess in the kitchen because he's the cook, and then I gotta go back and be like, let's organize this crap. But these look great. These were his like addition to our kitchen on top of, well, designing our kitchen, but that's another video. These are like only 22 bucks, and I really love these, and people in all size houses really like them. But if you're someone who like maybe has a smaller kitchen, because kitchens aren't all big, sometimes you need the spice, but you don't have the storage. These are a great solution for that. At least they've worked for us and a lot of tiny housers. Our tiny house is also a smart house. Our bigger houses had smart capabilities, but like when we built our house, we knew we wanted the whole house to be a smart house. So the G lady, Google, and the A lady, Alexa, all can run everything in our house if we want her to or tell her to. Locking the door, turning on lights in different sections of the house, or setting the mood lighting for like movie, like a name, turn on movie lighting, and then she'll change all of the lighting in the whole house to be movie lighting, which is perfect for that. So Lady A and Lady G, I have the big versions and the small versions depending on where we're at in the house. So I actually have some holders on my storefront here just to kind of show you the ones that we have. Like the one that is standing up is the one that we have in our kitchen. So that way if we need to set a timer and be like, hey G, set a timer for 10 minutes while I'm preheating the oven. She is the kitchen operator in there. And then we have one in our bathroom that goes around the plugs. So like it is, the placeholder doesn't cover any of the outlets, but it can sit nicely next to it. So we have one in the bathroom as well. And then we can utilize our plugs without that big bulky thing being there. I just have some of those listed too, because I know everybody probably at this point, or a lot of people at least, have the Lady A or Lady G. I'm trying to not activate yours at home if you're curious why I keep saying that, because it happens all the time when we're watching YouTube. Other people will say Lady A's real name or Lady G's real name, and all of a sudden all of our stuff starts talking, and I'm like, ugh. Also, we have some dehumidifiers in our home because, again, tiny space, living in a very humid climate. It is very important to always have dehumidifiers going in your home. So we actually have one directly above my head here in our bedroom, and then we have one in the bathroom, and they're both very small footprints, and they work amazingly. So if you are somebody who maybe has small bathrooms, or maybe you are an RVer, or you have, or maybe even for your real home, your big home. We had a big one in our big home, but now we have 2 little ones, and I have one for the bathroom, one for the bedroom upstairs. Those are linked there as well. There's a few other pieces in there, like our salt and pepper shakers. Instead of having the standard pick it up and flip it over, For cooking purposes, we have the kind that you just press your thumb down on. Luckily, I live in a tiny space, so it's not hard just to get up and go walk and get them. They come with a little base too that they both go in, but they're salt and pepper, so you just gotta, when you're, you know, cooking. And for Adam, that's way easier and easier to measure for him than doing this in case more pours out or the top comes out, you know. And they look nicer just sitting on the counter like this. They look a little bit more fancy industrial. I'm not going to be pulling this out because in a tiny house it's kind of hard, but I do have a foldable full-size mirror. That's something that I really missed having the first year of living here. And then after my surgery, I had a really hard time seeing anything below my really distended, swollen belly from surgery. So I was able to find on Amazon a foldable full-length mirror that was a nice quality. It's actually standing behind my tall dresser drawers over here, and I pull it out when I need to. So that is linked below, and it's an inexpensive, nice way to have a full-size mirror if you live in a small space. It can fold flat, and then you can hide it behind things, or maybe in a closet or behind a door or something like that. Really love that. And a recent investment that we made in our sleep quality is some pillows. And I feel like that's kind of weird maybe, unless you know what I'm talking about. And maybe you do. We were really struggling with pillows for some reason. Like something would be good for a while and then it fades, because you know, they don't last a long time. But finding a good quality pillow that wasn't, I don't know, over $100 for some reason was really hard for us. And we found this brand called Coop on Amazon. And we each bought one with, I think we both, my dad gives out Amazon gift cards at Christmas because he's like, you live in a tiny house. I don't know what to get you. Here's money. And I'm like, that's the perfect gift, Dad. Thank you. One of the more difficult side effects that I have been dealing with from menopause and my hysterectomy is insomnia. And really, I don't think this pandemic has helped in the least, because I've kind of wavered in and out of having, it's genuine clinical insomnia. So one of the things that Adam was like, all right, we need to get better pillows. I know that's been a struggle for you. It's been a struggle for me. So let's just look into it. So when we found this brand Coop, what we liked about it is we're both side sleepers, but they have versions for everybody. A back sleep, a tummy sleep, a side sleep. At least last time I looked. We're side sleepers, but I like a firm pillow. I like something that's going to like really support my neck and my back. Big boobs, that's a thing. My husband likes his much softer than me. So we found with this brand Coop, and there's two links on here because one is the queen, one is the king, depends on what you want. We only needed the queen, so those are kind of pricey. They are $60, but they weren't nearly as expensive as some of the other ones we were finding that are quality that you can add or take away the filler. Then it still works on keeping you cool and all of these things. And it's got a memory foam fill as well, with a bamboo cover. So I'm going to be linking some of these below as well. They're also hyperallergenic, all those good things. Hypoallergenic? Hypoallergenic. It's hypoallergenic, not hyper. Hyper is me. Hypo is this. Yeah. Obviously, the You Are a Badass book is also in this highly recommended section of what I have been talking about. And, okay, there's one outside piece that I'm not going to be bringing in because it is a huge outdoor bench with storage that is waterproof. Hear me out, all of you local Floridians or anyone that deals with a shit ton of rain. One of our tiny house friends moved in like a year ago and had this amazing bench, and I was like, where did you get this? I need this in my life. Now, I would have said this also though when we had a big house. It is essentially outside storage unit that looks pretty and can be locked, and it's waterproof. So I was like, tell me about it. When she said it was an Amazon item, I was like, should we buy two? So it's a little pricey. It's $116 on Prime right now when I'm looking at this. And it is the 70-gallon storage bench deck box for patio furniture. And it is intended for outdoor seating and pool toys and regular stuff. We actually keep like really important tools that we need in it. We keep kettlebells in it. We have so many high-end, important, expensive things in there. And we live in Florida. And if you did not know this, Florida gets a lot of rain, especially in the summer, especially during hurricane season. And we have never had a problem with this bench, to the point that any other tiny houser that we've ever met is like, do you have the bench? Or where did you get that bench? Like, somebody's always interested in this bench. But like I said, we would have bought this in St. Louis with our big house too, because it can hold a lot of tools. I'm not talking saws. I'm talking like big, heavy stuff. Guys, I feel like I could just keep going on and on with you about all these things because I even have some little sections about the YouTube equipment that I use every day and the jewelry and makeup organization, but those are all going to be listed below. These are the things that I have recently added in that I wanted to share with you and wanted to talk to you about because right now we're all kind of going through this and we're in our home the most. And we may be in our home on and off for a while now. So let's set us up for success. So feel free to peruse through all of those links and sections down below because there's going to be even more stuff that I haven't talked about, and I'm going to keep adding to it as we discover things that not only do we purchase from there, but we like, they go well. It's something I'd recommend to a friend, you know, because I'm not going to recommend you something that I just bought and I end up finding out in 6 months it broke. You know, all of this is stuff we've been using for a while and really noticing how it's improved the quality of our home, our life, the way we do things, the whole thing. Now I know this isn't like a makeup video and you're like, when are we getting back to that content? Don't you worry. You're actually seeing a behind the scenes on camera wear test. Yeah, true story. Stay tuned. Ring that bell so you don't miss out on all of these fun, loud, weird, unique videos that I do every single week, even during a quarantine. And thank you so much for watching. I love you, friends, and I will see you next time.